spoilers out of your hole so we can finish.
Oh no, we're not doing some extreme stretching.
Sorry.
Just
shouting to someone's ass.
You ever been so mad you yelled in somebody's asshole? Ah!
I'm done with this.
Brings us to the next thing I want to talk about here for this video. Let's talk about the look of Pinhead.
Disappointing. None of the... I'm sorry, I feel like I should elaborate.
Yeah.
I felt like the makeup was stellar.
Yeah.
The makeup, the pins, fucking spot on.
From neck up.
From neck up, perfect. But you know what pissed me off? Again, spoiler alert. We're just gonna say spoiler alert throughout the film, and then the video, and then we'll also put a spoiler alert at the beginning because we have to.
Yeah, of course.
But again, spoiler alert. In the book and in other movies we've seen, they talk about how the appearance of the Cenobites typically, like, there's a lot of black leather and open flesh wounds.
Yeah.
You didn't get that with this Pinhead. He was like Hell Priest. A leather frock, basically.
Was it even really leather?
PVC, leather, whatever. It's whatever you see old goth dudes wear. Count Geritol,
from Bar
his pants were whatever material Pinhead's garments. But no, it was just... He looked very, very much like an actual priest without a Roman collar. It was high-necked, black leather-ish material. There were no open wounds. He had no weapons, no piercings, no disfigurements.
Real quick, though, it's all spoilers anyway. This is just...
It's all spoilers.
This whole video is spoiled.
Sorry.
But I don't know if you paid attention to it enough to notice, but... he was actually, at certain scenes, he was wearing a chest piece that looked kind of like the old costume, except it was a very poor replica. It's like a chest piece. It looks like somebody just drew his old outfit on that chest piece and was wearing it.
I did not pay. Well, also, keep in mind, Pinhead, like in the original story, doesn't make that many appearances.
Yeah.
Like, in the original story, Pinhead himself isn't really...
Right.
Excuse me. Is not really the central figure. Kirsty was.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, it's one of those things. But, I did not notice that detail.
Yeah.
However, you know what detail I did notice that fucking pissed me off?
What was that?
The Chatterer's teeth did not fucking chatter. They played the chattering noise in the background, but it was just...
Yeah.
He didn't... It's like, I'm sorry, how hard is it to pay a guy to go, like, it's not that fucking... It's like, I know that's not beyond your fucking abilities, motherfucker.
I am the Chatterer.
Just literally make that noise.
I should, like, do another clip of me up close to the camera going,
Don't do that.
Oh. Okay, I won't do that.
But yeah, the fucking... And Butterball, I think he made, like, a slight appearance, but just his face. I think. I can't say for certain, but I know the Chatterer's teeth didn't fucking move. If we saw Butterball at all, it was for a snippet of a second.
Those twins kind of look kind of cool.
We did see... They actually have names, which escape me at the moment. But the twins, the Cenobite twins, did look cool as fuck.
Once again, that's part where the budget went as well.
Like, certain things you could tell they really went all out, and they're like, we want to make this effect as weird and as cool as we can.
And then
the twins fucking... Yes.
It's like they did that, And then after they did all, I was like, oh shit, forgot about Pinhead. Quick, here,
draw his chest on.
Here, okay,
hold this cardboard right here.
There you go. There we go. Looks just uncanny. Looks just like it. Hellraiser 3 realness, honey. There you go.
But to be fair, going back to the first scene, because again, it's where they blew their budget.
Yeah. We
did get to see some weird, interesting characters.
Yeah.
The first one.
Oh, I like that guy.
The first one we'll discuss is the fuck, what's his name?
I forgot his name. It was an interesting character, but we forgot his name.
I believe his name's the Assessor.
The Assessor was the guy that came in after he was.
Oh, let's talk about him for a second.
Yeah.
The Assessor. So basically, again, spoiler alert. This is all over the place. But
yeah.
The idea that they give you now, instead of opening the fucking box, because apparently nobody opens the goddamn box but once in this movie, by the way.
That's another thing, yeah.
They leave you a fucking note somewhere, and you meet a dude at a house.
So we've gone from the intricate box to send somebody, not even sending an email, just sticking somebody a piece of crumpled paper in somebody's mailbox. Hey, come over here. See who's stupid enough to go.
And surprisingly enough, some people were stupid enough to go.
Including our cop friend.
One of the new edition characters, they don't really say whether he's actually a Cenobite or not, because Cenobites by and large don't really talk much. They're kind of quiet, they're there to do a fucking job, and that's it, really, for the most part. Pinhead is the one that seems to have the most dialect in the movies. Everybody else is more or less mute. But this other character, he's called the Auditor. And basically, the idea is they send you a little fucking letter. You go to this house because that's cool. I'm just going to go to an abandoned fucking house. And you're, like, somehow compelled to confess all your horrible deeds, or tell the Auditor, rather, about your entire life. And then this big fat motherfucker named the Assessor comes in, and literally he's not a Cenobite. The Auditor, like, there's some wiggle room there, he might not be, but he's a bald dude with like a German accent and cuts all over his fucking face, and he wears gloves and little shiny bracelets. Like, he doesn't look... He looks like he could be a Cenobite, but he doesn't act or behave like the Cenobites. He's not there... He's a very passive figure. He doesn't really do much besides type shit down and hear confessions. And that's it.
Yeah.
And he shuffles paperwork. That's his job. So the Assessor is another character. Again, just big fat human dude.
Look like some homeless guy. He wasn't even an actual actor. He was just some guy. They
put a homeless guy in a suit and
hey, you want to do a movie? Which is great, you know. They're helping out the homeless and work, you know.
I approve of that.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to explain what he did, or?
Yeah, sure. Because why not? It's kind of gross.
This leads into the opening scene, which
again, we keep coming back to the first scene because it is such a mind.
It is the best part of the movie,
and it is so extravagant. Is the only word I think to describe it. So basically, the Auditor, after he types out these many sheets of paper on an old fucking typewriter, and it is old and rusty and shit, he stacks the papers in a tray, or under like a serving tray or some shit, and then the Assessor, the big fat dude, rolls his way in with a briefcase. I don't know what the briefcase is for, because he doesn't open it, or
right.
He doesn't use it. But, so, the Assessor's there, and his job is to eat your story or your confession and determine, or to help determine whether you're guilty, or of what they never say.
Yeah.
This innocent or guilty. I feel like that's a really vague way to judge people, because we all do awful shit, we all do good shit. So, it seems like a tough break either way. So, the assessor, basically, he eats your confession after dumping on it what he calls children's tears, which that's not fucking creepy at all. Not at all, pouring children's tears on paper and eating it. Like, that's some next... Like, you gotta really think about some shit. Because just saying children's tears, it doesn't set... Like, it's just words, but when you think about it in context of this fucking movie, you're like, that's dark.
Yeah.
And then, what he does is after he gorges himself on your notes, or the auditor's notes, he then gets violently ill and vomits the contents of what he's just eaten into a glory hole of death or something. I don't know. It's a hole in the wall that he just barfs into.
Which then, that barf leads into a trough. And that trough, fills up with... Which seems like a lot more vomit than a few pieces of papers, but there you go, you have this trough.
Just a trough full of vomit.
And then you have, like, 3 naked... I guess they weren't really Cenobites, or were they? Ish?
I don't know if you could call them Cenobites either, because they had Cenobite-like qualities.
Yeah. But
they talked, and granted, they only ever said guilty.
Yeah.
But they, I don't know. I would say, if we're gonna look at it from like a religious standpoint, like if we're gonna bring Christianity into it for a second, so. If that's the case, Pinhead would be the devil.
Yeah.
Then that would mean that the Auditor is the person whoever's under Satan. He's just, a pretty important demon, but not the most important demon.
Satan's assistant manager.
Yeah, basically. And you know how, like, some people, like, because traditions about what hell is and isn't are very broadly across the world. So for some people, an idea of hell is just being made to do shit in hell, and it is usually gross shit, like you have to eat shit and drink piss for like the rest of your life, or afterlife, more accurately, or you're put in charge of just doing gross things, but also serving a purpose, because maybe you did some awful shit, but at the end of, like, your punishment isn't eternity. Like, again, it all varies which culture you want to look at this way. But that's basically what it is. It's like walking through... Oh, perfect example. It's the closest thing you could think about is the Egyptian afterlife process. You go on a journey, you talk to people, you do tasks, etc., etc. If you're deemed innocent or whatever, you go to heaven and, whatever. But if you go to hell, which in the first scene, going to hell meant you were ripped apart by another character we're going to touch on called the Surgeon. Oh my god! It was like BDSM night in LA meets fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, it was fucking barbaric.
This brings me, as I mentioned earlier, Doug Bradley did not want to be in this movie.
It was a matter of payment.
Yeah, it was a matter of payment, and the fact that he said he'd read the script, they sent him the script, but he had this sign what was it's like a gag.
It's a do not disclose thing, which means typically those movies are also filmed under an alias. They're not filmed under their actual name sometimes when they're sending a script around. But that basically when they say hey, we want you to read for this, but you need to sign a do not disclose clause, it's to protect everybody involved. It really is. But Doug Bradley didn't want to do it. He said he's not signing anything like that just to read a fucking script. Right. So
But here's my question. So, now suppose in an alternate reality, Doug Bradley said, okay, fine, you know what? Fine, I'll do it. Do you think he would have made any difference being in a movie? Would he have made it better? Or do you think it just...
I don't know. He didn't make Hellraiser any better than it was. He didn't... There's some of them where it's like... Or, I don't remember the name of it. But it's the one where Pinhead was, like, technically, like, in the internet or something.
No, that...
Or something.
No, that was, Hellworld.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Hellworld, yes. The last one that Doug was in, yeah.
In which he was barely fucking in it. And it's like, oh, Pinhead is in the internet now. Okay. And then we had fucking,
Hit me up on my Instagram.
And then there was fucking, Frank Blak from Millennium. Lance Henriksen was in it.
Lance.
I really wish he wasn't. Because I love Lance Henriksen. But much like Doug Bradley, he didn't make that shit of a script any better.
No.
Sometimes, like, you can't... Putting a good actor in a shit sandwich doesn't make the film better.
Okay.
So, no. I don't think Doug Bradley would have made it better, just because it was an okay script, and it was an okay storyline.
Yeah.
But it had lacking so much.
It was. I mean, it could have had potential, but really, it would have needed to be refined, reworked. It felt rushed.
Yeah, because they opened with so much fucking blood and gore.
It's like they went all out in the beginning, and then...
It's like they did that to grab your attention and keep you there, and then you would hope throughout the rest of the movie you would also see more of that, but you really don't.
To be honest, it's almost like that movie was based around that first part of the movie.
Yeah, kind
of. It's like they had a great idea. It's like, let's do this. They filmed this part already and everything, and they're like, okay, now what? Let's film around it, build a story around this scene.
Because it was so well done. Like, in regards to how it was shot and the special effects makeup, they did a great job on that first scene. That first scene was epic.
Yeah.
Again, if you like gore and gross stuff, like, that's definitely not for everyone. Like, not everybody is gonna like this movie, let alone this first scene.
Right.
But if that's the kind of film you're into, if you like those kinds of movies, then yeah, the first scene that's what hooked us. That's what kept us interested.
Yeah.
I don't regret watching it because it was cool for what it was. But the ending, I mentioned earlier in the video that I fucking hated the ending. I hate the ending. The ending is terrible. I
saw what they were trying to do, but...
Basically, spoiler alert, in the end of this video, or this movie, sorry, the angel that we mentioned earlier, the blonde chick in the white leather, Pinhead ends up trapping her in hell, and then tears her apart and shit like that, and I was like, okay, so, and she's like, well, you know, like, you're in for some shit if you fuck with an angel. Like, I was sent here by you-know-who, so if you fuck with me, you're kind of, you know. Yeah. And even the Auditor was like, dude, don't fuck with the higher-ups. Like, I know we're pretty powerful here, but maybe don't do that, because in the movie, the Auditor even told him, was like, probably wasn't the best idea there, guy. And Pinhead's all arrogant and shit. And that's the other thing. Pinhead isn't arrogant.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm a little like, about that. But Pinhead's all arrogant. He's like, oh, what could they possibly do? We're already in the fucking deepest depths of whatever. And old dude's like, banishment? Banish us back to the realm of mortals? So that's what happens. God makes Pinhead immortal, puts him back on planet Earth as a guy in a box.
Yeah.
Living on, like, in an alley.
Yeah.
And then it's just some dude with blood on his face shrieking, no, at the end of the film. Very anticlimactic, I would say.
Very.
Very.
Like I said, I saw what they were trying to do, they just failed.
But that's not... They needed to not... I feel like bringing the angel into play was... was such a wrong move.
Yeah.
Because I like the ambiguity in other movies that does Pinhead answer to, well, I know Pinhead answers to Leviathan. Like, if, from the book and, like, the second movie.
Right.
You know, we know that much. But, like, there's no, like... I like that the idea, the realm of, like, sin and badness and evil, that's, like, Pinhead's realm. It seems completely separate from the realm of anything good. And I like that they made that clear, distinct separation. Not two halves of the same coin kind of shit.
Right.
I like the idea of there being, like, some kind of mystery.
Yeah.
Like, what is Leviathan? What is the thing that compels Pinhead and the other Cenobites to do what they do? What is it that's calling them to this higher, supposedly higher mission outside of the realm of human beings?
Right.
Because, you know, in the first two films, they talked a lot about, like, it wasn't just all about gore and pain and shit like that. It was also about sexuality. It was about sensuality and anything erotic, and how people will chase all sorts of sensations, and how each Cenobite was at one point human, and they too were chasing sensations throughout their life and living in excess and shit like that. So I like the idea that it was like anything in excess is bad, obviously. That's why, you know, they have the 7 deadly sins, because anything in excess is bad. Supposedly. So I like the idea that there was some mystery to whether, like, what exactly made them do what they did. What drove them. And this thing, it's like, oh, well, technically I'm God and I created you, so I'm going to send down my little angel chick, and she's going to laugh in your face while you tear her apart with meat hooks. Like, it just... Yeah. I felt like it was unnecessary, and didn't fit the storyline.
It didn't work at all, really.
No.
Okay, and now it's time for our final thoughts. Personally, I went in not having huge expectations of the movie. Then it kind of fooled me for a minute from that intro.
And then we felt let down.
And in the end, I'm actually grateful Doug Bradley was not in this movie. Doug had the right idea. You know what, Doug? We ain't even mad at you.
Not even mad.
Be very happy that you said no to this movie, because you probably wouldn't have made very much money.
It's not a good movie.
You know,
I mean, it's not terrible for what it was.
It was still better than Revelations.
Yeah.
Revelations.
That guy looked like the guy. The makeup for Pinhead in Hellraiser Revelations looked like somebody fucking took the Hamburger Helper glove mascot and just stuck nails on it. Like it looked like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man with sticks. Like, it wasn't great.
But yeah, then it's like I said, it's basically like a fan-made film. Mm-hmm. But Dimension said, hey, alright, we'll just put it out as our own. It's like that, but really, in the end, I think the movie was just based off of that one scene in the movie. They took the best scene in the movie, and the rest of the movie was based around it, and that's where it fell flat. So, I mean, me personally, if you want to watch it, you know, find it, but, you know, don't go in expecting, you know,
quality.
Yeah. This. I mean, it's one thing going to a movie not expecting much, then you for a second go, okay, maybe this won't be too bad, and then it exceeds your lower expectations of it. Yeah. So,
now the cat in the background.
We'll just stick to watching Hellraiser 1 through 5. Rather watch Pinhead in space. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Once again, if you haven't seen the movie, I put plenty of warnings that there's going to be spoilers. So if I just spoiled the movie for you, it's your own fault for watching it because I gave you warning.
Yep.
But thanks for watching. If you like this, hit the like button, share with your family, friends, enemies, whatever. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, so that way you know when we're uploading videos, all that good stuff. And we will see you next time with another video with me and the good doctor right here. So, bye-bye.